Hello friends, I'm Navina and I'm going to read you another story from the March 1982 issue of Chandamama. It is from the new Tales of King Vikram and the Vampire. Reward and punishment. Dark was the night and weird the atmosphere. Showers came down from time to time. Eerie laughter of ghosts subdued the howls of jackals. Flashes of lightning revealed fearful faces. But King Vikram swerved not. He climbed the old tree again and brought the corpse down. Then, as soon as he began crossing the desolate cremation ground, with the corpse lying astride on his shoulder, the vampire that possessed the corpse observed, "O king, no doubt you are showing this extraordinary courage for someone's benefit. But know this, that courage does not receive the recognition due to it always. Let me narrate an incident to you. Pay attention to it. That ought to bring you some relief." The vampire went on. The king of Baunpur, Gunapal, had a son named Pratap. The prince had two fine friends in Jayvarma, the son of the king's general, and Veer Keshari, the son of the king's minister. The three young men received their lessons from the same teachers and played and grew up together. Everybody knew that in the future, when Pratap becomes the king, Jayvarma and Veer Keshari would become his general and minister respectively. One day the prince went out for hunting. He was accompanied by Jayvarma and Veer Keshari, apart from a number of sepoys. The prince was so fond of hunting that he used to forget the need for taking food, drink, or rest when in the forest. That day, too, he worked hard to make his trip a success. He grew tired by evening. Suddenly, a tiger pounced on him. He was least prepared for such an emergency. However, Jayvarma, the general's son, stepped forward and drove his spear into the tiger's chest at the nick of time and saved the prince. The prince embraced Jayvarma and said, "You saved me. Father will be so happy when he hears this." Other members of the party too congratulated Jayvarma. The forest was growing dusky. They walked fast in order to cross it before it was dark. Pratap and Veer Keshari walked in front of the party. Jayvarma was a little behind them, busy explaining to the sepoys how he managed to kill the tiger. Once more the unexpected happened. A huge bear, who had been wounded earlier and was hiding, suddenly leaped upon the prince. The prince fell flat under the growling beast. His sword was thrown off. He lay helpless. In the twinkle of an eye, Veer Keshari, the minister's son, picked up the sword and beheaded the bear. Jayvarma came running. He congratulated Veer Keshari for his prompt action and expressed his joy at the prince's escape from danger for the second time in a short while. When the inmates of the palace and the nobility heard of the party's adventure in the forest, they congratulated both Jayvarma and Veer Keshari in many glowing terms. It was announced that the prince's providential escape would be celebrated in the royal court. Nobody had any doubt that both Jayvarma and Veer Keshari would be rewarded by the king. The king arrived in the court on time. After making a sweeping survey of the crowded court, he said, "You have all heard about the danger the prince faced in the forest. Veer Keshari, our noble minister's son, deserves to be rewarded for his timely action in saving the prince's life." The king presented a diamond necklace to Veer Keshari. One of the courtiers thought that the king had forgotten about the other young man. He whispered to the king, "There is also Jayvarma, my lord." The king cast a stern look at him and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Jayvarma is pardoned this time." The vampire paused for a moment and then asked in a challenging tone, "O king, what is the meaning of this comment made by King Gunapal? Where is the question of his pardoning Jayvarma? By not giving any reward to Jayvarma, did he not prove ungrateful to him? Answer me if you can. Should you keep mum despite knowledge of your answer, your head would roll off your shoulders." Forthwith replied King Vikram, There is nothing wrong or intriguing in King Gunapal's comment or conduct. Jayavarma was the general's son. He was to succeed his father to the post of the general. According to the custom, the responsibility of safeguarding the prince vests in him as long as he is with the prince. The minister's son, Veer Keshari, who was to become the minister in future, was only expected to give the prince sensible counsel. The prompt way in which Veer Keshari acted deserved special commendation. This kind of alertness and valor should be considered natural qualities in Jayavarma, but they are special qualities in Veer Keshari. While Jayavarma only did his duty by coming to the prince's rescue the first time, he proved negligent in his duty the second time. That was not the time for him to fall back and gossip with the sepoys. He deserved punishment, but the king pardoned him. No sooner had King Vikram concluded his answer than the vampire, along with the corpse, gave him the slip. Thank you.